Boston Celtics, last year they were 57-25, second in the East. They won the first round against, I think it was the Hawks in 6. They beat the Sixers in 7 in the second round. And then in the conference finals, they were down 3-0 to the Miami Heat, but they fought hard, came back off of a Derek White putback shot with 0.2 seconds left. And they won Game 6. They didn't win Game 7. They lost. And that's what happened. I cannot talk. That's what happened at the end of the season. That's what ended their season, pretty much. They lost in a blowout L to the Heat, and the season was over. Then they came into this offseason, and oh my goodness. It's right at the beginning of the offseason. First of all, the first initial trade had them trading, I think it was Malcolm Brogdon and some other guy to get Kristaps. But then the trade was rescinded and because of Malcolm Brogdon's injury history. And instead, they traded Marcus Smart, the heart and soul of this Celtics team. They traded him to Memphis. And then the Wizards got Tyus Jones, and the Celtics still ended up with Kristaps Porzingis. And everybody's thinking, oh, this new big three, the Celtics are so good. The Celtics are a championship favorite, maybe. But then again, injuries, so we'll never know. But this team is looking nice. And then, after the Dame trade, they took an opportunity and traded Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams, and I think it was some second, first round picks or something like that, for Jrue Holiday. And now they have a deadly starting lineup of Jrue Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps. This is at least the lineup I'm guessing they're going to run out there. I mean, they could run big with JB at the 2, JT at the 3, and then Al Horford starting. But this is what I think they will run. And this team defensively is nasty. I already read out their starting lineup. Off the bench, they got Peyton Pritchard, who they recently extended for like $30 million for a few years. They got Sri Mikhailuk, Sam Hauser, O'Shea Brissett, and Al Horford. And then Delano Banton, Jordan Walsh, Lamar Stevens, Wenyen Gabriel, and Luke Cornett. Now, this team is nasty, if I'm being honest. This top 6 defensively is nasty. Jrue Holiday is known as one of the best defenders in the NBA. Derek White, also one of the best defenders in the NBA, or at least perimeter defenders right now. Jaylen Brown, a really good defender. Jason Tatum, a really good defender. Kristaps, one of the best post defenders in the NBA. Al Horford, one of the best post. Defensively, that top 6 is ridiculous. Not many people are going to be scoring on this team. The only issue, or not the only issue, but let me first actually talk about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has been consistently, or at least he's been rising into superstardom, and now he's considered a top 10 player in the NBA, at least by most people, by most smart people. He's considered a top 10 player in the NBA, and he does, of course, have his moments, in clutch moments, where he does kind of choke a little, but he's still Jason Tatum. He's still an amazing player, and you know what you're going to get from him. With Jaylen Brown, there was a lot of memes with him not being able to go left, and that was something, but hopefully this year he'll bring his reputation back, because Jaylen Brown's still an amazing player. Lots of people disrespected him, but I still think he deserves to be up there with some of the best players in the NBA. And man, this team, Jrue Holiday, when you look at this team, just the idea of it, just that starting lineup is so nasty. That's 4 all-star caliber players pretty much. Jrue Holiday was an all-star. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were both all-stars. Kristaps was almost an all-star, but we know that he's an all-star caliber player. So it is looking disgusting. The issue I did have with the team was the injuries. Whoa, I just moved my desk. Hold on. The injuries, because Kristaps did get diagnosed with some sort of knee issue before the year started, And I see that being a big problem because I don't know if Kristaps' health is going to be consistently there. And if it is, that's great. If it isn't, though, I wouldn't be surprised because his knees ain't looking too good right now. I'm not going to lie. His knees are not looking too good. But when he is healthy, this team's going to be nasty. It's just when he's not healthy, you have Al Horford off the bench. You have Luke Cornett. So your center court isn't horrible, I guess. And this still without Kristaps, this team is nasty. But that might be a pretty big loss. And it might lower the expectation of this team because this team looks ridiculous, like they're amazing. But Kristaps not being there could definitely change some things about the season for the Celtics. Before they made the Jrue Holiday trade, injuries were a much bigger problem with this team because Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams are both known to be injury-prone players, and they were both on the team like a month ago, and now they're not there anymore. So that definitely does solve a bit of the injury problems, and it just lowers your depth though, because off the bench they do have Peyton Pritchard who can be okay. And we've seen a little bit from him in preseason. I'm not 100% sure that he'll be good, but we have seen a little bit from him in preseason. They have Svi Mykhailiuk, Sam Hauser. Like, when I read the names on this bench, it don't sound great. At least in theory. But I definitely could see this team coming in and being solid, especially with the bench guys just doing their job, doing what they need to do. And I've heard from reports that the Celtics are going to try and have two of the big four on the court at all times. So maybe they could run a lineup like when the big guys are resting, like the big stars are resting, maybe they could have like Peyton Pritchard, Peyton Pritchard, Svi Mykhailiuk, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps, and Al Horford. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that not the big guys aren't always, like, there isn't a time when not two of them are on the court. Even with one of them on the court, your team's looking nice. But when you have a court like this, you do have the opportunity to run at least two of them on at all times because you have four real stars. And when you have four stars, you got a lot of options, man. You got a lot of options. So obviously we know this team defensively is going to be nice. But I also want to look at how this team works offensively as well. Because offensively, this team is pretty cohesive when I think about it. Because if you look at this team, you have Jrue Holiday, who is a point guard, of course, but he's also a guy who can move or who can function well off the ball, a good catch and shoot 3-point shooter, and you know what I'm saying, he's just a good guy to help. He can facilitate them in offense, of course, as he did with Giannis, but he doesn't need to handle the ball all the time like he did with Giannis, because Giannis does handle the ball a lot, and Jrue Holiday was able to be out there catching and shooting threes. So if Jrue Holiday can do that here, that could help with the guy with Jason Tatum, who is going to have the ball in his hands a lot of the time. That's what I expected ever since the Kristaps trade. Even before Jrue Holiday got there, I expected Jason Tatum to get the ball, get a lot more touches than he did last year, and I expected him to level up his playmaking game. And if he does do that, then that opens up the game for this team even more offensively. Because if Jason Tatum's your main playmaker, you got a lot of options that you can do, man. Jason Tatum and Jrue Holiday running the offense. If Jaylen Brown can work off the ball, that helps him a lot more. And Jaylen Brown was in trade talks for some time. Or not really trade talks, but he was in trade rumors, I guess. And then he signed a $200 million extension, the biggest contract in NBA history. And oh my god, was it $300 million or $200 million? It legit might have been $300 million, and I would not even know. But still, he got a lot of money. He got a huge bag, and yeah, Jaylen Brown, man, that is so much money. But I guess it's worth it, especially when you have a team like this where you're trying to win a championship. and Jaylen Brown is one of the best players in the NBA. He's been a part of young core ever since like 2016. You're gonna want to keep him on the team, and you're gonna want to give him the money that will convince him to stay on the team. So I guess it works in that sense. But still, the way this team works offensively, cohesively, Jason Tatum and Jrue Holiday running the offense, sharing the ball. There's also Jaylen Brown. He can get a bucket every once in a while. Jrue Holiday, who can get a bucket. Well, not. Yeah, he can get a. Through the Wire had a whole debate about this. Jrue Holiday, who can score the ball because he's an NBA player. Derek White, who can score every once in a while. And then Kristaps, because Kristaps isn't going to be looked at to score much on this team, especially when you have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But he's still going to be a great option for them offensively. He adds spacing because he can shoot the three. He can score in the post as well. And we see stuff from him preseason already. He's looking amazing. So if this team can make it work offensively, and actually if Tatum can be playmaking, if Jrue Holiday can be doing his thing, if Jaylen Brown can work on his left hand. No, I'm stop. But my point is, this team can work together cohesively on the offensive side of the ball. Watch out for the NBA, man. This team might be a favorite to win the NBA championship. And then, off the bench. I already talked about the bench. I still am unsure about it, if I'm being honest. Because you do have guys who can show out every once in a while. But I don't know if they're exactly the guys you want. Because I don't know how consistent they're going to be. The consistency is the question for these guys off the bench. So we'll see how they do, of course. But I'm still not 100% sure about them. There's Jordan Walsh on this team. I only know him because he's bald and he was in 2K. But he's on this team. And a lot of people saw him and saw him hooping. I mean, if he's a good piece for this team, that just helps their chances even more to be a great regular season team. But we'll see what happens, man. This team is going to be nasty, regardless whether it's regular season or the playoffs. I'm still not a 100% believer, but as long as they have no injuries, they're a contender. So yeah, that's just about everything I have to say about the Celtics. This is not exactly a team I'm excited to watch. This is definitely an intriguing team though, because they are going to be ridiculous on the defensive side of the ball. And we'll just have to see if the offense can translate. If it does, watch out. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about the Celtics this upcoming season, man, because I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys think, how good they will be, and if you have any hot takes, hey, put them down below. Yeah, that's about all I have to say for today. I'll see you guys next time. More videos coming soon. I'm out.